Nobody's ever heard of testing in the kind of quantities that you're talking about. He knows something that you don't know. That I think I know, but you don't know. Nobody knew that healthcare could be so complicated. Nobody ever heard of Osama bin Laden until really the World Trade Center. Nobody ever heard of the word trillion until 10 years ago. Nobody ever heard of the word emolument before. Emoluments! You know, executive orders sort of came about more recently. Nobody ever heard of an executive order. Nobody knew that Afghanistan has tremendous minerals. Nobody told me that. Nobody knows that. I said, well, how many people die a year from the flu? A number that nobody heard of, that I heard of recently, and I was shocked to hear it. 35,000 people. What I'm saying, wow, nobody knew that information. A fiancé visa, which most people have never even heard of. This has been a Category 5, which few people have ever even heard of. It was at 14 or 12, and at that time, nobody had ever even heard of Ebola. You have caravans. Nobody ever heard of a caravan. And human trafficking is a disaster. Nobody knew too much about it until recently. Most people don't even know this. And I've really become somewhat of an expert on it, I will tell you. Most people don't even know he was a Republican, right? Does anyone know? A lot of people don't know that. Things were discussed and learned honestly. The media didn't know. Nobody knew. They've never heard this before, and we learned a lot. Think of it, 151 countries. Somebody said to me today that wasn't in this particular world, they didn't know that we had that many countries. A friend of mine said, very sophisticated friend said, I never knew you had 184 countries. We actually have more than that. Some countries you never even heard of, we'll call it. I said, what's that country all about? We learned a lot. We're learning a lot. We've come up with things that nobody had ever heard of, and we did it during this pandemic, slowing the spread, an expression that more and more people are thinking about. Nobody ever heard of it 2 months ago. Nobody ever heard of a thing like this. Distancing, social distancing, what does that mean? Washing your hands every 15 minutes, what does that mean? It's so contagious. It's like, if you sneeze, I probably get it. Who ever heard of a thing like that, okay? I don't think any doctor knew it at the time. I don't think anybody could have known it. People didn't know that much about it, even the experts. I knew everything. I knew it could be horrible, and I knew it could be maybe good. Who knew that shaking hands was such a bad thing? I felt it. I mean, I always felt it. Most people wouldn't know that, but I know because I know the facts. With all that we've been through, we've learned a lot. Don't forget, we've learned about pandemics and epidemics. We've learned a tremendous amount. You think this is fun? This is a lot of work. A lot more work than anybody knew. Obama knew everything, okay? Obama knew everything. I mean, does anybody have any doubt about that? Obama knew everything.